Hey guys, welcome back, my loves, to the Healing Seat with Monique, where silence breaks, truth rises, and healing begins. Guys, take a deep breath, get comfortable, and let's talk truth heart to heart. In my last episode, I opened up about my relationship with my older son Kevin and the things that he did to me. In this episode, I will share the full truth about my daughter, Javia, her struggles, the trauma, the chaos, the drugs, the lies, the disappearances, and the shock and betrayal involving Robert, the man who manipulated both of us. This is not an easy story, but it is my truth. I will open up about her mental health battles, her addictions, ACS involvement, the secret sexual relationship she had with Robert, the day she cut me off in August of 2022, and the grandchild she hid from me. This episode is for every mother who has loved a child through their darkest moments only to be met with betrayal and pain. It's also a message of survival, strength, and breaking generational curses. This is my story, guys. Unfiltered, unmasked, and unapologetic. Let's get started. I lost my daughter long before she walked away. Javia was my first baby girl, and from the moment she came into this world, I wanted nothing more to be the mother that she needed. But raising her was hard, harder than anything I could ever imagine. She struggled from a young age, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, running away from home, stealing from everyone, disappearing, lying, acting out, and back then I didn't understand why she was doing these things. I felt in my heart that something traumatic may have happened to her. I kept asking her, and she kept denying it. I didn't know the full truth until one day Javia was about maybe 10 or 11 years old, and she told me that my first husband, Carlos, had molested her when she was about 6 or 7 years old. I couldn't believe what she was telling me, plus the same day that she told me this, she got in trouble at school. The school called me to come get her because she had stolen some things from some classmates and she was running around the school. So they had to lock her in a classroom until I got to the school. When I got to the school, my daughter immediately said she wanted to go back to Four Winds Hospital. Four Winds Hospital is a hospital that my daughter has been in and out of from the age of 9 to the age of 14 or 15 years old. She was hospitalized 13 times due to her behavior and her mental diagnosis. When Javia told me that she was molested by Carlos, I sat her down and I asked her what happened. I wanted her to explain exactly what happened, when it happened, where I was at. I wanted to know every detail. My daughter sat in my face and told me 7 different stories, guys. 7 different stories in 1 hour. I immediately called Carlos, flipping the fuck out over the phone, screaming, cussing him out, ready to tear the world apart for my child, only to later learn she had lied. Today, I feel she was trying to tell me things were going on with Robert without telling on Robert. She chose to protect Robert. She lied for him. And the worst thing of all, Robert told her that I knew about the abuse and I allowed it. And she believed him, guys. So every time she came at me angry, rebellious, hateful, she wasn't just acting out. She was punishing me for something I didn't know anything about. She was hurting me because she thought I hurt her. Imagine your child believing you let them be abused. Imagine your own daughter turning into your enemy because of a lie a grown man whispered into her ear. That's what I lived with. That's why she came at me so hard. That's why she hated me for so long. Her behavior was her crying for help, her cry for help, and a punishment. She stole money from me, from Kevin, from anyone she could. She destroyed my home. She broke up my furniture, damaged the walls in my home, broke windows. She went through 7 bedroom sets in 3 years, guys. Who goes through 7 bedroom sets? My daughter started to spiral out of control once she started using drugs. First, she started with smoking weed. Then I found out she was popping pills. And then when she was 14 years old, she started running around with this boy who was in a group home, and he was addicted to heroin. I had a feeling that my daughter was doing something more than weed. I actually watched my daughter go through withdrawals in front of me. How many of you listening right now have ever had a 14-year-old hooked on heroin or even witnessed a drug withdrawal? Leave a comment below and please share your story. Guys, my daughter would run away for days, weeks. The longest she was gone was 5 months. That was 5 months of me not knowing if my daughter was dead, raped, trafficked, strung out, or lost. 5 months of me calling hospitals, precincts, shelters. 5 months of not knowing if my child was still alive. Until I started getting phone calls on Facebook, Messenger, or people would send me messages asking me if I was her mother, taking pictures of her sleep on the stairwell or on a roof of a building or in a park next to this boy's apartment. The lengths and the things that this child went through just to be with this boy was unbelievable. It was a never-ending cycle. It was just constant. One week it was Javia's chaos. The next week, Robert would disappear or come home drunk. The next week, Kevin and I was arguing and fighting because I wouldn't abandon Javia. My home became hell. The people I loved the most would tear me apart the worst. When Javia's behavior got dangerous and too much to handle, of course ACS got involved. They told me I had to choose. I had to choose to either keep Javia in the home or have them remove Marlo, my baby girl, who was only 3 months old. She was innocent. She was my baby. I had to choose between losing one daughter or losing them both, and I chose to protect Marlo. I signed Javia over to ACS, and that was the hardest decision I ever made. But I didn't abandon her, guys. I damn sure didn't want to make that choice. I should have never been put in that position to have ever had to make that choice. But Javia wasn't thinking about anyone but herself. She didn't care about how her behavior and her actions affected us. All she cared about was herself and her chasing behind this raggedy-ass boy that was bringing her down. Once I signed Javia over to ACS, I never signed over my complete rights. I was very much involved in every aspect of her life. They had to call me to make decisions for her. I went to every meeting, every visit, every court date. I bought her clothes, gave her money when she needed it. I bought food to her when I went to see her. I showed up every single time. And all that time she was sleeping with Robert behind my back while I was fighting for her, while I was breaking myself to save her, while I was busting my ass trying to work to keep a roof over my family's head, leaving work constantly to run back and forth to school, to court when she got arrested for different things. She was sleeping with Robert behind my back. Not once, not twice, but for years. In August of 2022 was the last time I saw my daughter and spoke to her after finding out what was going on behind my back for years. I confronted her over the phone. I told her I knew about the sexual relationship. I told her I knew the truth. She got so angry she hung up on me. She blocked me, disappeared, cut me off completely because she couldn't face me. She couldn't face what she had done to her mother and her sister. Later, I found out she had a baby boy. She hid the entire pregnancy from me. So now that child will grow up knowing nothing about his grandmother, who had fought for his mother every step of her life. He will never know how many nights I cried for her, prayed for her, searched for her. But that's what happens when you live in lies. You hide your blessings because the truth burns you. Robin knew her mental illness, and he used it against her. Robin has been in her life since she was 9 years old. He knew her trauma. He knew her diagnosis. He knew she was vulnerable, and he used that. He gave her money for nails, hair, clothes, money for weed, money for pills, money when she was deep in her addiction. He exploited her pain. He bought her loyalty. He groomed her. Robert didn't just cheat on me. He broke my daughter. And then he used her to break me. How do you forgive someone who keeps cutting you? And after everything that I did to save her, after all the years I spent fighting for her, she turned around and she betrayed me in the worst way. How do you forgive that, guys? How do you love someone who keeps cutting you open? I have battled that question every day since I found out. I wasn't a perfect mother. I wasn't always patient. I didn't always respond in the best way, but I never turned my back on my kids. I never hurt them. I never abandoned them. I was loyal. I was committed. I was present. I was a great mother. I was a good wife. I was a good friend. I was a good woman. And they all used me until they couldn't anymore. And when I finally spoke my truth, that's when everything fell apart. I've learned that people only love you when you're silent, when you're suffering quietly, when you're easy manipulated. But the moment I started naming things and calling out the lies and exposing the spell work and shining light on the abuse, they all scattered. They attacked my character, told people the most hurtful things about me. They all called me crazy. But you know what, guys? Craziness is what happens when truth makes people uncomfortable. I haven't seen my daughter since 2022, but God has seen everything she has done. And one day when she stops running and is ready to face the truth and stop letting lies guide her life, I know she will come to me. But until then, I release her. I release the pain. I release the guilt. I release the shame that was never mine. This is my story. This is my truth, my healing, and my freedom. If anyone is going through something similar, know that God still sees you. You're not a bad mother. You're not a bad person. We're going to keep walking through this together. If you felt the vibe today, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that post notification bell for future episodes as I continue to dive deep into my testimony and how I survived it. Thank you so much for coming to sit with me at the Healing Seat with Monique. And guys, remember, healing is a journey, not a race. Breathe easy, stay grounded, and I'll see you in the next one. Namaste.